That was a spot on. Great. Now listen to this. Just talking on the topic of debunking the lies and deception, fighting for the truth kind of thing. Listen to Larry Elder just like blowing it apart. Oh my lord, you're gonna enjoy this. Let's take a listen.
By Juanita Broderick of
having that team around
of threatening her.
Yep.
When after Juanita Broderick said she'd been raped by Bill Clinton.
Yes.
I've not heard anybody ask Hillary whether or not it's true or false.
Yep.
People think that Hillary Clinton has committed murder multiple times. I've heard that.
My point is that there are a lot of no-fly zones the media has when it comes to protecting people on the left, and this is not uncommon. I couldn't care less whether Obama is gay. I couldn't care less whether or not Michelle is Big Mike. I think Obamacare is an abomination. I think what he did on race relations set this country back. That's what I care about.
Yeah, you're a policy guy. But that's the exact. If I asked Trump that, he'd be like, "Yeah, he's probably gay. Yeah, Michelle's probably a man, and that's why he gets eyeballs."
I don't think Trump would say that. Trump even conceded.
Trump has said way worse things about
Trump
way less
even
people.
Conceded that Obama was born here after spending money to investigate all of
the birth certificate.
He started the whole birther claim.
Well, he was trying to win.
How nice of him
he
to
did not.
concede
No,
that.
he did not start that. Hillary started that. 2008.
That's correct.
Well,
bingo.
He promoted the hell out of it.
Game change. She started it. Sidney Blumenthal was her top aide. He goes to the McClatchy newspapers and says, Obama is not from here. He was born in Africa. And a guy named James Asher, you can look it up, took the advice seriously, put somebody on it, and they tracked it down. They found nothing to it. It was Hillary's campaign that started it. And everybody assumes Trump started it, but he did not. Hillary did it.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. Meaning, like, I think you're probably right.
Now they do. Millions of people now do.
That's true. But everyone thinks.
So I've done a service. If nothing else,
if you did a poll right now of who started the birther claims, I would say 90% of people would say
so
Trump.
many things about Donald Trump are just not true. For example, in November 2016, I think it was around November, before the election anyway, Bloomberg poll, the number one reason that likely voters gave for not liking Donald Trump is that they felt he had demeaned a disabled reporter, mocked a disabled reporter. He did not. We're talking about a guy named Serge Kovaleski, wrote for one of the big newspapers. And Donald Trump publicly said that people cheered the fall of the Twin Towers. And nobody could find a story. And then he found a story. And they went up to Serge Kovaleski, who wrote the story, and said, did you see this? He goes, well, I sort of did. Well, I wasn't sure there were that many. And so Donald Trump mocked him in a town hall. He wasn't mocking his disability. And by the way, the guy doesn't go like this, which is what Donald Trump did. The guy has an atrophied arm, but he doesn't go like this. And Donald Trump did not mock him, but that's what people believe. There's a website called Catholics for Trump, where Donald Trump has used this gesture to mock himself, to mock an able-bodied general. It's what Donald Trump does because he's a stand-up comic. It's not true. Just as it's not true that Donald Trump said there were good Nazis and bad Nazis on both sides regarding Charlottesville. Even Jake Tapper, 2 years later, said, went back and looked at it. He wasn't saying that. He was saying there are good people and bad people on both sides of the debate on whether or not there should be a Confederate monument in the public square. But that's what a lot of people feel.
Well,
and the other big thing that people think about Donald Trump is that he was leading an insurrection on January 6th, when, as you pointed out, what part of I want you to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard don't you understand? So many of the things that people hate Donald Trump's guts for are simply flat out false, including that he started the birther movement. He did not.
Well, this goes to the
oh my lord. He is ripping this building demolition derby style.
He came in with a wrecking ball.
Oh my goodness. This is VP for me. I know you like Vivek Ramaswamy and he's very articulate and all that. And somebody says in a comment, Vivek Ramaswamy is not a Christian. He's a practicing Hindu. I mean, I get it, but I will still be okay with him being in a political position. I don't think Christians should be leading out in everything. I don't believe that. So I'm telling you, let me give you a perspective, right? If Christians were running YouTube, I probably would not be on YouTube. You know what Christians will do? Christians will say, no atheists.
Persecutors of ourselves.
I'm telling you, no atheists will be allowed here. No agnostic can speak here. No climate deniers can come here. They will actually shut down channels that has a perspective that doesn't allow. I'm telling you, in history,
no one of this denomination, no one of that denomination.
Absolutely. Any large company that is run by a Christian, only, I said only, big word here, oftentimes leads to prosecution and persecutions of people they don't agree with. that is something history. You can read history. You can go back to the Dark Ages. You can read even in the uprising of America. There were times that the same American settlers, they would persecute the Quakers because they were not falling in line with the supposed religious rights that they had already established. I'm just telling you, no, that is something that is very dangerous that I'm not for. So I try not to insert that in politics because I know that little history of how dangerous of a thing it is. So that mindset I'm against. However, Larry Elder, if I had to vote for a vice president, if I had to advocate for one, if I had the right to pick one, this would be my guy. One of the reason is he's strong on family values. You see what's going on in black communities, particularly, and people are talking about racism and all that. Like when black people are killing each other at such a high rate to the point where you can't even discuss it. Like he has the solution for that. Like he advocates for family values, fatherlessness issues. He calls it out, and he speaks about how we, as a black people, can actually fix our home. And if you fix black communities' home, you will fix majority of the culture, violence, drugs, even police, whatever you want to call it, police killing black people. Which I don't necessarily think that's how it's happening. I think it's black people resisting police that leads to their deaths. But
yeah, it's black people acting the fool.
Yeah. So if you were to be honest about the conversation, that's what you will say. But he has a solution. I love that. No other politician actually has this perspective. He speaks that way. This man is loaded with facts. The fact he can go back and lay out without any note, call out a video that happens years ago and tell you the name of the people, what time in the video this was said. This man, I don't know if he has a photographic memory of some sort, but this is an intelligent guy. Like this is the base, fact-based type of guy. And this is why I like him.
I didn't even know he was running. So yeah, I mean, like Larry Elder, yeah, he's definitely a good dude. I saw it when he was trying to take the governorship of California from Gavin Newsom, and I saw everything he was talking about there, and I totally agreed with almost everything he said.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I'd never 100% agree with anything everybody says. There's usually one or two things that I disagree with on him about, but for the most part,
he was on point.
He was pretty much on point about everything.
I mean, again, going in California, I mean, Gavin Newsom, I mean, hey, talking about being zombified or work zombies and so on.
Yeah, right.
It's like
that's where it's going to start.
You know what I'm saying? You go in the belly of the beast. There's been videos of him being completely like white liberals showing real racism toward this man. They're throwing food at him, things like that. Those media don't even talk about stuff like this. But there's been things done to this man that if you were to do that to any Democratic presidential candidate or any sort, it will be called racism, white supremacist. You will hear that the video all the time. You will hear people talking about it. But since it's done to a black conservative,
was the first one to be called the blackface of white
supremacist. Yeah, since she's done to a black conservative, it's fair game, baby. It's fair game. And I think that's a problem. Again, this is what I love about this guy. He is common sense type of guy, man. He has so much he could give to the discussion in politics, and even in religious circles. I listened to I watched Uncle Tom 1, Uncle Tom 2. I was like, that's my guy. Once you watch those two videos, you listen to him and how he lays out the facts. He called out the hypocrisy. He lays out the problems in our communities. He talks about the country. And I'm like, yo, this is the kind of people like black people should be listening to. Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder, like, Officer Tatum. These are the kind of people you should be listening to if you're looking for a black influencer. For me, I don't care what skin color you are. I'll listen to anybody. I'll listen to Trump. I don't care. As long as you have the truth, I'll sit at your feet. But some people
honestly, another one is Gothics. She's really coming up in her own.
Gothics is no joke. She is common sense type of girl. She's so articulate. I wish I could talk as well as she does. She is so articulate, boy, and she's
she has a passion.
Oh,
and she has a fire.
She thinks so fast. Anyway, yeah, things like that is what I consider to be of great value for me. Larry Elder is one of those national treasures, if I will say. I'll put him somewhere around my Thomas Sowell kind of guys because he's one of those guys, It's gonna take us years down the road to look back and say, yo, Larry Elder was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, give him his flowers. Give him his flowers now,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Bigger question about the media. I actually agree with you.
Can you actually verify the Hillary Clinton birther versus
Absolutely.
Trump? Because there's a lot of people that believe Trump started it. Can you pull this
there's
up?
video of Morning Scarborough, Morning Joe show, where a guy named John Heilman co-authored the book called Game Change is on.
Yeah, John Hyman. Yeah.
John Heilman.
Can you find that?
And Harold Ford is on the panel. And somebody mentions that Hillary started. He goes, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And Joe Scarborough turns to John Hyman and said, well, John, you wrote the book, Game Change. What's the truth? He said, I'm confirming the notion that it was Hillary Clinton that started it. John Hyman said that.
Well, it's only 10 years too late.
Can you
so
find that
respect.
clip if you could, Rob? If you can somehow.
Yeah, that's it. Joe, right there. Joe, Obama Muslim talk started with Hillary.
2015.
Right there.
And then this talks about the birther as well with Hillary.
Can we play this?
Well, the whole birthday thing is Obama's from Africa.
Yeah. Can you get audio or no, Rob?
I mean, God, you see that interview? I mean, the Clinton team
I do a
wrote the
great job,
questions.
too.
I mean,
This is it.
for
Someone gave yourself a
obviously
platter.
that was stunning. It was stunning. She is asked on Face the Nation about who at the state. She said the State Department authorized it.
Yeah.
No, there was Dickerson didn't follow up with a question. Who at the State
Well, that's
Department?
because the campaign did not allow that. You know
Because
that this
they-
interview was set up so that certain questions on policy were required for a certain amount of time,
this the
and
one,
then
Larry?
they could go
I'm
into
not
emails
sure.
for a certain
It
amount of
doesn't look like
time, and then they.
Can you
believe
fast
me,
forward a little bit to see if this is the one, Rob? Just kind of fast
it
forward.
was
to see.
textbook
John
planned
Howman
out. I
supposed to be in
can
this
see.
Very
interview?
rich. Now listen.
He says he is.
By the Clinton
This is
team.
it.
don't even know.
That is the truth.
Harold
Go back a
Ford
little bit. Go back 20
Yeah,
seconds.
that's it. That's it.
This started with Hillary Clinton, and it
Go
was
back 20
spread by
seconds, Rob.
her
Go back 20
and her king body
Right there. That's good.
for spreading the rumors.
Okay, go back
about
10 more
Barack
seconds. This was
Obama.
the one. Yeah,
I
right
gotta say
there.
one other thing too.
Here we go.
It was rich this weekend. I guess we have to get our digs in on Hillary Clinton here because I thought we were going to get through a segment without talking about her.
Oh, well, she's
But for Hillary Clinton to come out and criticize anybody for spreading the rumors about Barack Obama, when it all started
on 60 Minutes.
when it all started with her and her
She's a
campaign
pro.
passing things around in the
Wow.
Democratic primary. Rich. Now listen,
He says he is.
the Republicans are wrong for doing what they're doing. This started with Hillary Clinton, and it was
Good
spread
for
by
Morning
the
Joe for
Clinton
saying
team.
this.
We're
I'm
just
shocked.
telling the
Back in
truth.
2008.
Sorry.
Now, watch
I
Howard.
really, I don't
Look,
even know.
that is the truth.
Harold,
I don't
please.
believe. I don't.
Don't.
But Mika, you can't tell me to stop when the two of you are making comments. It'd be different if you have if there's a basis, an actual evidentiary basis for what you're saying, then I would
What
agree
year
with
was
it.
this?
That they're
I
the
have
ones that spread it in
experience.
2008.
The spread what in 2008?
That
With
Barack
this-
Obama
Let it keep
may not be
Campaign?
Barack Obama may not be a Christian.
We should ask Heilman this
Watch
question.
this.
That's John Howman on the
Official
right.
Heilman?
Wait.
historian of the
I-
2008 campaign.
I don't recall that, but if you're telling me that was the case, I just don't recall.
John
It
Heilman.
was the case.
It was
Thank
within
you.
It was the case. Thank you, John Heilman.
It was the case.
Didn't you go on 60 Minutes and not
Wow.
actually
It was
say
the
no?
case.
So he says he is.
I'm offering my.
What was that?
He just,
Harold.
I'm affirming the Scarborough Brzezinski.
Okay, do you know about this
Assertion.
Yell ahead on Morning
CBS
Joe.
interview? Was that rigged?
I don't know anything about. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened.
I don't know what
between- I don't know what
between the
happened
campaign
and John Dickerson.
I don't
no
know
idea.
what happened on that interview
Not
either, but you do
no idea.
recall that a week earlier she went on Andrea Mitchell, and it was all emails all the time for the first 20 minutes of that interview.
That's
So
pretty
she has done
intense.
interviews. in
Scott, you
which
can
it
stop it
was
right
no
there.
So you were
holds barred.
right.
Yeah,
No,
of course I'm-
So, you know,
But more importantly, a guy named James Asher, ASHER, who worked for McClatchy,
Pull that up.
said that Sidney Blumenthal approached him and said Obama is not from here. And he tracked it down and found nothing to it.
got it.
And Sidney Blumenthal is Hillary's hatchet man.
You know what's interesting
Yeah.
about that is that was in what year, Rob?
15.
That was 2015. This was the year I literally used to watch Morning Joe and Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, John Heilman, and everyone that's on there literally every morning for 2 straight years. Okay. And this was when Joe Scarborough was actually a friend of Donald Trump. So was Mika Brzezinski. They were he was at their wedding.
Joe Scarborough used to be a Republican.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
and used to demean Al Sharpton, signed a resolution, introduced a resolution calling Al Sharpton a race hustling demagogue.
Right.
And now they kiss each other's butt.
Well, he's on his show
It's
every
amazing.
morning.
It's
He's on his
amazing. Yeah.
But this is my point.
The Reverend.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Reverend.
Thank you. This is my point. In a few short years, from 2016 to the Trump election to basically where we are today, the media has completely gone to different sides.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Completely gone to different sides. So
I wonder how many more lies are still out there that are yet to be debunked. the fact Hillary was able to get away with this for so long, and yet the media doesn't even address this, is almost like one, like this, like he says, no fly zone kind of thing. Like this is a black hole kind of story. How many more stuff has been said and we're lied about Trump that is yet to be proven? I'm just, this is crazy.
Or the unfortunately timely demise of someone whose name rhymes with Pepstein.
We might not find out about this one for a while. That truth ain't coming out anytime. Well, he already came out. It won't come out from them anytime soon because let me get that correct. It's not coming out. They will never admit to that one anytime soon. I think our generation might have to pass before maybe the next 30 years or so or something. That's when they're gonna come out and admit who was on the list, little black book, time, how much was paid, who the person was that they did what. I'm sure that's gonna come out. I don't know if it's gonna come out
in our lifetime.
Not our lives. I don't think so.
No,
there's too many characters to protect here. Some of these characters are still alive.
I'm sure
they can't risk it.
One of them.
Yeah, she definitely was. I'm sure her husband probably. I'll stay quiet. Let's keep going.
I mean, why else would there be a picture of him hanging on his wall?
Yeah.
In a dress.
You said she ate. She ate the list. You serious?
Nice.
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it, Robert.
Here's my question. The media has already done this. If there's one thing I've learned since Trump has been elected office, that the deep state is real.
Absolutely.
And they do not want Donald Trump to be president. They didn't want him in 2016.
I want to hear that again. Say that again, bud.
That the deep state is real.
Say it again, buddy.
If there's one thing I've learned since Trump has been elected office, that the deep state is real.
Hey, man. It took a Donald Trump for people to finally admit this. I think we were, back then, there's been this talk about the Illuminati, all seeing eyes, but when we didn't really trace to see where this is really coming from, was the mother of this thing. And there you go. When Trump got elected, the way they treated Trump, the deep state kind of like showed their ugly face. They are like, here we are. We cannot have this man in the presidency because he's anti-war. He's not the kind of person that we want to. He's rich. He cannot be bought or sold.
He's destroying our plan.
He's destroying our plan. He doesn't want a paycheck. When he gets paid as a president, he just donates it. He doesn't care. So how do you control that man? Propaganda. You have to smear his character. You have to just make him look as bad as you can in the eyes of the people. And let's indict him over and over again. That's what's going on. It's very obvious.
So here's a little tidbit. Do you know the term words. Sorry.
We can look it up in the...
I just had it. Something theory. Begins with a C. Oh goodness, I just had it. Conspiracy theory. Do you know where the term conspiracy theory comes from?
Oh yeah, he goes all the way back with the assassination of John F. Kennedy Jr.
Right, but do you know where it came from? Like the history behind it?
Oh no, I just know that's when it was promulgated. That's when.
Okay, it was promulgated by the CIA to discredit anybody who had accurate theories of the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, I know that it came from the CIA.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit for anybody who didn't know that the term conspiracy theory is actually dates back to the assassination of John F. Kennedy, where they were trying to just discredit anyone who came out with like any truth or actual facts about the case and just basically shut them down.
Yeah. That's a problem. And there seems to be a deadline to a lot of conspiracy theories, right? As soon as something comes out, they say, that's conspiracy theory. And then it seems like 6 months later, it is affirmed to be true. Have you noticed this pattern?
It's like I always say. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and fact? About 6 months.
Oh, perfect.
Absolutely.
And they do not want Donald Trump to be president, has been elected office, that the deep state is real.
Absolutely.
And they do not want Donald Trump to be president. They didn't want him in 2016.
Right.
They didn't want him in 2020. They did everything in their power to get him out of office.
Right.
And they're going to do everything in their power to do it again in 2024. So if he is elected, which is 50-50 at this point, they're going to do everything in their power to belittle his candidacy or his presidency. He's a racist. He's white percent. Russia, this, that, the other. They're going to play clips of January 6th. It's just going to happen over and over and over again. How does someone like Trump combat the media, big tech, Hollywood? How does he even go against that at this point?
The good news is, I said I was a cautious pessimistic, but the good news is Donald Trump, Republicans now have almost half the Hispanic vote. Donald Trump got elected with 8% of the black vote in 2016. When he ran in 2020, he got 12%. That's a 50% increase. He got 20% of the black male vote. People are waking up. They're seeing the nonsense. And they're seeing their pocketbook. They go to the gas station, they go to the store, they're paying a lot more for the same stuff. And you can call Donald Trump all sorts of names if you want. All I know is I'm paying a lot more for gas. I'm paying a lot more for chicken, for bacon, for milk, for egg, for cheese than I did before.
Yeah, but that's grassroots. How do you handle the top? Okay, so there's bottom up and then top down. So the top down, the media, Hollywood, big tech,
FBI.
everything, even clearly the deep state. How does he combat that? Because the fear is it's just going to be this antagonistic, vindictive relationship.
The good news, the trust in the media has never been lower, and that's because Donald Trump has popularized the expression fake news and disinformation. You combat it by telling the truth and by staying.
Amen, Larry Elder. But I got one little pushback. The media is also being controlled. We know that. All right, it's being controlled by the deep state. They're writing, the 3-letter agencies are writing stuff for the media. Check out what is it, Operation Mockingbird, and you can do your own research on that. Here's the thing. So there is the alternative media. So the more the mainstream media lies and tell all this propaganda stuff, it's propaganda news. That's what it is. It's just to support a particular narrative politically. So the doors are also now open for alternative media. All right, people like us. Like people that are like the Matt Walsh of the Daily Wires, so they're rising, the Candace Owens. Yeah. So these people are now emerging and they're changing perspective. But now what is also going on, the same deep state is trying to silence these people. So they're turning their volume down, right? So people's perspective are changing because they're watching channels, they're listening to different voices. They're not listening to those mainstream media networks anymore.
And
not as much.
They're seeing their alternative medias get silenced.
Yes, now the alternative medias are being silenced. So it's one thing to say we should be telling the truth and proclaiming the truth, but Larry Elder, you have to understand the alternative media. In Ariado in those days, he has a channel that's been demonetized. They're shutting channels like ours down, right? So that the truth doesn't come out. Now we still have to figure out a way, just like you said, diversify. We have to go to different like Rumble or
Kick.
Yeah, even on Facebook, even Facebook has been owned a long time ago. There's some things, once I get 50 views on Facebook, they don't mind. When I hit 300 something views, the video gets strikes. Because Facebook is asking you to pay for the algorithm. They want you to pay money to promote your content, but they will take any other post of yours and spread it over the one. It's just kind of ridiculous anyway. Yeah, so that's another thing too. We have to be aware and acknowledge that this is another issue. So it's not just we need to speak the truth. We have to also know the truth is being oppressed. It's being suppressed. We're being told we can't even speak it. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of that. Like I've said, I'm gonna use different means. I'm gonna find different ways. I'm gonna speak it no matter what. We just have to be real, knowing that the truth is highly under attack, no matter where you are and who you are, and they don't want to hear it. But I think what's going on with Trump, right, in the face of all the indictments and the fact he's still winning, that's evidence that the media's propaganda is no longer working. That's evidence to me, because I'm like, yo, all the stuff you guys are doing, and yet Trump is winning. Like, what do you do with yourself? Like, what do you do? They don't know what to do, because now their issue is like this alternative media. They begin to realize our voices are being heard. They begin to realize like Black conservative perspective, even podcasts like these guys, Candace Owen, like people are listening to these people. This is who we're listening to. We're not listening to these Joe Smo, MSNB, and Jen Psaki's. Like, who cares what they
And the
have to
Communist
say?
News Network.
Yeah, the Communist News Network. Nobody cares. So this is why I think they're afraid, and this is why Trump is winning, and this is why the perspective is changing. If you notice, like what happened with Bud Light, that was the alternative media who did that. Like the Grassroots did that. Bud Light has been dethroned. They lost so much money. Their shares, I mean, it is bad. Even Target, the amount of money they lost, that was the result of the alternative media. This was the result of the Grassroots. They say, oh, it's just the Republicans. No. It started with the people talking and exposing Matt Walsh, Crow. Like it started. That's where it started. Channels began to make videos. I have videos of Bud Light who has thousands of views. These were the reasons why the supposed trans person, Dylan Mulvaney, is no longer a talking point. They're not really. They become obsolete. Why? Because the alternative media is putting out a different perspective, and it's working. And that's why we should never be discouraged.
And I think that's one thing this other guy overlooks is he's talking about how does Trump deal from the top down. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't worry about the top down.
He doesn't,
because his is from the bottom up, and that's much stronger than anything the top down has. I mean, you think about it. When has anything ever worked
gotten fixed
from top down versus bottom up?
Never.
Other than maybe the economy. Okay. Granted, the economy, okay, you give tax breaks and stuff, and you have the whole trickle down economics theory and stuff like that. Whole nother rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But point is, trying to take somebody out like that isn't going to work from the top down.
No.
You got to hit him at his base. And you know what? His base is so loyal at this point because they've seen what he can do and they know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit that. It's like hitting granite.
Yeah. And again, the thing is, the base is looking at the reality, right? The media is living in a bubble. They have no sense. They are deaf tone to the perspective
Their heads
of the
in
people.
the clouds.
Yeah, they have no idea what people are talking about, right? You talking about Trump being evil. And when I go to the grocery store, I know what it was under Trump, and I know what is under Biden. And you tell me Bidenomics is working. I said, you a liar. Okay. Our taxes are up to the roof. Okay. Healthcare is extremely more expensive. Going to the store, 150 used to feed the home for 2 weeks. Like 400 is not enough for 1 week. Like, you serious right now? So when we look at that, we have a perspective. Now, when we listen to all the stuff you said about Trump, and now we're listening to videos, you look at evidence that are coming out, the exact opposite, like Larry Elder is breaking down. Whoa, he didn't do that. That's not what he meant. This was a lie. He's not a racist. No way. He did more for black people than anybody else. Oh my goodness, these people have been lying. So what do you think happened to the confidence of the people? They no longer trust you. They move on to somebody else. They go listening to a voice that really matters because they realize you guys are a joke. That's why when you go to CNN, you look at some of their videos with like 13-something million subscribers as followers and everything. They're getting like 100,000 views, 50,000. What? That's what I get. That's what I get, depending on what kind of content I put out. I'm like, no, you should be in at least you got 13-something million followers. All your videos should have at least 1 or 2 million views. At least. The fact you're not even getting that, it tells you what the people, and when you look at the videos, the thumbs downs, more thumbs down than thumbs up. What does that tell you? The people's minds are changing.
Are made up.
They're made up. They're not listening to you. When Snoop Dogg came out the other day, there's a video of Snoop Dogg who came out and telling black people not to vote for Trump. You know what they did to him on TikTok? Go and listen to the TikTok responses. Blacks, white, Latinos, everybody came in and said, Snoop Dogg, shut up. And I'm being a Christian. Shut up. Nobody cares what you have to say. like we are suffering under Biden, and here you are living in a glass house throwing stone. Buddy, shut up. We don't care. Go sell weed. That's what they say to him. Go tell us where you get the best weed. Because we don't care.
You've made your money. You've got money. You can live how you want. You're a made man. You can do whatever you want. Don't tell us people here on the ground grinding out every day who to vote for.
Inflation doesn't impact you. As a matter of fact, it benefits you because you make more money off of us. None of this stuff that's hurting the common people bothers you. You're living like a king. You're already rich. Whether we have a Trump or Biden, you're doing fine. He does not have an impact on you. And here you are telling people how to vote. Like, you're not a politician. Go make music. Go dance. Go do your little crib dance. Nobody cares. I mean, I was recently listening to the response from the people. I was like, look at that. One of those ladies says, she said, Snoop Dogg, sit down. You've been officially canceled. I started laughing so hard. She said, sit down. I said, no, she didn't.
Man.
She dismissed them. I said, like, come out here talking about who to vote for. You're supposed to be making music. Get out of here. And this is the thing with these people, like these celebrities, they think people cares what they have to say. Like, nobody cares. No. Dwayne Johnson and LeBron James. Like, yo, be quiet. Go make your money. Go shoot basketball. Nobody cares because you don't live the life we live. Like, who cares? You don't live the life. You don't know what it's like to be persecuted. You don't know what it's like to pay expensive bills. You don't know what it's like to live among the common people. Like Oprah Winfrey's asking for money for Maui. Are you serious? You have enough money to take care of the entire land of Maui and some more. And
even though she's bought up half the land over there already.
Asking, can we raise money for Maui? Like, are you serious? And then you're gonna claim it on taxes next year? Pathetic. People are not listening to these people anymore. No, our confidence is not in them.
They're fed up with it.
They are tired, and I'm with them.
Stand on your ground, which is why people love Donald Trump so much. He's a fighter.
So it sounds like even though
fake news and disinformation, you combat it by telling the truth and by standing your ground, which is why people love Donald Trump so much. He's a fighter.
So it sounds like even though you're running for president, he has your vote.
If he becomes a nominee, he has my vote. I would rather be the nominee, and I'll ask him to be my running mate.
By the way,
oh, this is great. All right, guys. Well, let's stop it right there. Again, much more could be said. I think we said enough already throughout the video. I'm telling you, perspective is changing. That's what you're looking at. Larry Elder went completely berserk.
Yeah, the winds of change are shifting, man.
Absolutely. And it needs to happen. It needs to happen. So the biggest conspiracy is that the devil's a constant attempt to distract us from the good news about God and Jesus and who has sent us. Exactly. I think what you're saying, Rocky, ultimately that's kind of what we're talking about here generally, but we're looking at it from different facets. The attack is against the gospel, right? Is against the truth. Jesus, he's the way, the truth, and the life. And that's the conspiracy here. And that's the one we need to be aware of. And one of the scriptures I've been sharing lately is, again, this is bigger than politics for me. I look at the political sides and I read the spiritual stuff through the political lens. So I get to see what the Bible says happening in different spaces and places. That's kind of what I do in my discussions. So, for example, there it is right there. For I know if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. 2 Corinthians 4, there it is. If our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Look at this. In whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. So, I think the issue here is this entity. Who I don't know who, I can tell you who is the devil, but he takes a different form. The God of this world is the one attacking. So it's not Trump that they're after so much. You know, he said that they're not after. They're not after me. They're after you. I'm just standing in the way. So it's like you can see the devil's like working through these different avenues, and the goal is to blind the minds of individuals. It's like what is really under attack here is our freedom of conscience. Is our ability to speak the truth. Our voices is being shut up. What's under attack here is definitely our relationship with the Lord ultimately. Because if God cannot get through us by hearing the truth, Satan wins. And I think he knows that, and that's what he's doing. And behind the scene, there's an ultimate cover-up. The cover-up here, just like Rocky says, is to cover up the truth of God's word. And I think that's scary. But we don't have to be afraid because the Bible does say, you know, the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in Matthew 24. That's my last verse. Matthew 24, verse 14. He tells us that this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So look at that. So no matter what you see the devil's doing here, and you read Matthew 24, you get the sense of all the signs of the times, deceptions and lies and false Christ, false prophets and all that. Like in the midst of all of that, at the heart of the message is this. Oh, by the way, the gospel is going to be preached throughout the whole world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. It's like, boom. What does that tell you? We win at the end. Like we win as long as we are on the side of Jesus, we're on the side of the truth, we're on the side of the gospel. We have nothing to worry about. We don't have to worry about a single thing they're doing, but we need to be wrestling and fighting and warring. Yeah, this is kind of like what we're doing now. We are doing the fighting and the wrestling. It's a fight. It's a fight over words. It's a fight over speech. You know, so that's kind of what's going on. Oh, I'm gonna show you something